let's just get straight to it. I'm Molle, Visibility Hacking Studios. Today we're talking about why you, as an entrepreneur who creates content and puts it out on social media to build your brand awareness, why you should be documenting and not creating content. Yeah, that might sound a little bit confusing, but that is what, in fact, we are talking about in today's episode. So we're going to talk about documenting, not creating. We're going to dive into a little bit of Gary Vee. We'll talk about the advantages, disadvantages, and of course, how you can get started documenting rather than creating. So if this sounds like you, roll that intro, and I'll see you on the other side. Your journey as an entrepreneur refers to the process of creating the right types of content. We're talking about documenting and creating content that shows your process, that shows the challenges that you're facing, and of course, shows the successes that you're experiencing as well. So this can include blog posts, social media updates, videos, podcast episodes, etc. And you can even create content that provides like a behind the scenes, a backstage view of what it's like to run your business, to be part of your movement. There are so many different reasons why entrepreneurs want to document their journey online. So let's cover a few of them. One, to create a personal brand. By sharing your journey, you can establish your authority as a thought leader in your industry and build a personal brand that really resonates with your target audience. Second reason, to educate and inspire others. By documenting and sharing your journey, you can truly inspire others who want to walk down that same path. Maybe they want to start their own business, or they're curious about dipping their toe into the change that your movement brings. Third reason, one of my personal favorites, is to foster engagement and that sense of community. See, by documenting your journey, you create an opportunity for your audience to follow along, to feel part of the creating of your business or your movement. And that gives them that psychological buy-in so that they want to see what's happening next. They want to participate. And best of all, if you're trying to sell things, they want to purchase those products to be part of that movement. And number 4 is to demonstrate that authenticity and transparency within your business and your movement. See, when you're sharing your journey, you're sharing the authentic, the truly vulnerable moments of your business. You're sharing parts of the failures and the struggles. That is truly going to define you as different than those who just create content that puts them up on that pedestal. We talk about this in the visibility hacking movement a lot, where we have our mountain that we climb. To be successful, to have achieved that success, is to stand at the top of your mountain. But nobody is going to follow you up that mountain unless you've shown that reality, that struggle, that vulnerability, that authenticity on your way up. And I mean this, if you're standing on the top of that mountain means to you that you've created a 7-figure business. Maybe it's to you that you've been able to reach a certain strength or a fitness goal that you've been working towards. Whatever that struggle is, whatever that desired total outcome is, that's the top of your mountain. But you have to document that journey to reaching the top of that mountain so that your audience sees themselves in that content. And by documenting your journey rather than just creating content, you're showing your audience that they too can be part of the process. Documenting your journey as an entrepreneur can be a powerful way to promote your brand, expand to new audiences, and really start connecting with those viewers. See, it allows you to share your story and share your unique perspective, while at the same time providing valuable insights and inspiration for those who are watching. There are so many different ways that you as an entrepreneur can document your journey. The thing you have to keep in mind is that the specific approach you're going to take to doing this is going to depend on your preferences, it's going to depend on your goals, and it's going to depend on you, the individual entrepreneur. How comfortable do you feel sharing parts of your journey? We've talked about this in previous videos where we talk about wounds versus scars. So definitely check out some of our previous videos for that discussion. Thank you to Marley Jacks for that idea. But let's talk about a couple different examples of ways that you can document your journey. You can even start today. You can always start with a blog post. Start talking about what are the struggles and challenges that you're facing in your business today. Share your thought process. How do you plan on overcoming these? What is that complex thinking that you're engaging in when dealing with this problem? It shows that and it positions you as much more inspiring than if you were just to kind of muddle around, oh, woe is me, I have this struggle. Show how you're going to accomplish that, how you're going to work through that, share that transparency with your audience. Of course, you can always use social media and use it for updates, use it to share behind the scenes little tips and little views of what's going on in your business. The cool thing about using social media to document your journey is it's much more real time. Sitting down to write a blog post, a well thought out blog post, might take a little bit more time than the instant quick hits that you can post on social media. Of course, if you are more of a video person, you can always share those updates with your audience, those behind the scenes views with your people. You can share them in little video updates. I would recommend looking at creating vlogs where you're kind of like following along, like you're hanging out with your camera, like it's your best friend, and you're showing them behind the scenes. You're showing them what's actually happening in your business. It gives this little deeper level of intimacy with you as the content creator in this case, with your audience. And that is a true, beautiful way to start building those connections. And of course, if you don't like video, but you do still like to talk, try a podcast. It's a fantastic way to serialize the process in your business as well. So talk about what's happening in your business periodically. Maybe sit down once a week and have an update episode. Talk about those struggles. Talk about when you get those butterflies in your stomach when you're about to deal with a new joint venture partner, for example. Documenting that journey at first might just feel like you're documenting it for yourself, but there will be people. I have this podcast that wasn't really getting a lot of listeners when it first launched a couple of years ago, but for some reason now it's just 10x, if not more, the number of viewers. And I haven't touched it in years, but it's because it encapsulated a very specific part of my business journey. It's really started to resonate with a brand new audience. And I'm so glad I took the time to document that journey when I did. But listen up. No matter what format you choose to share your journey with, you have to make sure that you're staying authentic and true to you and your brand message. This is important because it builds trust and credibility with your audience. My other big tip for you is to remember to be consistent. Share regular updates with your audience. That way they know when to tune in. They know that you're going to be providing regular and consistent updates so they can follow along. Which brings us to our question of the day. I am curious to know from you guys, what kind of content are you creating? Bonus question. How consistently are you sharing that message? Let me know your responses and let's get this conversation started down in the comments. Let's talk about the benefits to documenting your journey rather than just creating content. Because let's be real, there are a ton of benefits. So we're going to touch on just a few to get started. First off, we've already mentioned it, authenticity and uniqueness. By documenting your journey, you have that unique ability, that unique perspective to share what's happening in your business. That authentic story gives you the ability to showcase what makes you and your business and working with you and your movement different than everyone else. It's an ability to highlight the experiences that make you different, that separate your business from everyone else. Because your audience now gets to know your values. And we talk about this in the visibility hacking movement, looking for those moments of shared value. When you do this, when you highlight that, You're actually building credibility and authority with your audience. It's kind of like hitting two birds with one stone, but less violent. The other cool thing about documenting your journey and not just pumping out content for the sake of content is that it helps you master your storytelling and engagement tip. Because when you're sharing your own story and you're doing this on a regular, consistent basis, it's simply just putting in the reps. It's practicing and it's like strengthening your storytelling muscles. It gets better as you learn to share your story, which then translates and helps you tell other people's stories better. So it helps you tell better case studies. It helps you get better testimonials. It helps you have better sales pitches because you're better able to tell those stories that truly motivate people to go from a place of indecision to a place of decision to purchase your stuff. And of course, another fantastic benefit is personal and professional growth. Because let's be honest, as much as documenting your journey is about sharing it with a wider audience, it's also selfishly a fantastic way to document your journey for yourself. So you can see that growth, that transformation, not just in your business, but in yourself as well. Because believe it or not, your content block, your scared, like those feelings you have of being worried or scared or nervous about creating the right kinds of content, that is a challenge that you're going to be sharing with your audience. Because remember, when we're trying to achieve that result at the top of the mountain, we have to go through two different journeys. The hero's two journeys, right? We have to go through that journey of achieving, of figuring it out, of getting to the top of that mountain. But at the same time, we, as the hero in that story, have to go through that journey of transformation as well. The game of becoming, we call it. Documenting your journey creates a time capsule for you to see that type of growth. It helps you stay motivated, but better yet, it helps your audience stay motivated. So overall, documenting your journey as an entrepreneur creates great, valuable, engaging content. That's for sure. It's going to help you promote your brand, find new audiences, connect with those new audiences, and ultimately start converting them up to your offers. And at the same time, it's also of great personal benefit. So go start documenting your journey. But that brings the question up of how do we actually do this? How do we document our journey? We've talked about some of the different ways, the methods or the mediums, I should say, that we use, the blog posts, the social posts, etc. But like, what is the thought process? What is the process to doing this? So here are a few tips to help you on that journey. First things first, you want to identify those key moments, those milestones, those moments of either struggle or encouragement or success. You want to highlight those. Maybe there's a certain project that you're working on or a larger goal you're working towards. These can be topics that you're going to start sharing along that journey. Fantastic way to think of it is when you have a larger goal or a larger project that's going to have multiple steps along the way. Perfect thing to share with your audience. You also want to mix up the types of media that you're using. Yes, I mentioned previously, start a podcast, share that journey. But if you really want to make maximum impact with documenting your journey, try and spread out your content across different platforms. So have that podcast, but your podcast is missing all of the visuals. So share some of those on your Instagram, for example, and then touch base on your YouTube channel with a vlog update every month, for example, so they can really get a feel for what's happening. It really feels more immersive. And because they're sharing they're following along on your journey on these different platforms, they're going to become more and more immersed. And you'll be able to actually figure out who is more involved in your content simply by who's showing up on those multiple platforms. Do not forget to share both the successes and the challenges that you're facing in your business. Be authentic, Be transparent. Because remember, when you're sharing those difficult parts, those challenges and obstacles you're facing, you're building credibility and authenticity and authority with your audience. That's what the true value of documenting your journey really is. You're showing the process, you're showing the ups and downs, and it's going to build that authority with your audience. Because that is the key to documenting rather than creating, is being transparent, being consistent, being authentic, and really sharing your true journey with your audience. Hey, while we're on the topic, why not hit the subscribe button and join us here while you watch us document our journey, and we can do this together. And hey, while you're at it, also drop down your channels down in the comments, I should say, and so we can follow along with you. Before we go on, we have to talk about some of the pitfalls, the downsides, the difficulties that you might encounter on your journey, documenting your journey rather than just creating content, right? So I want to share this with you so that you are prepared, so that you can know what is ahead of you, and you can actually think about it differently. It becomes something to look forward to, a challenge to work through, rather than like an obstacle that hits you straight in the face and you don't know what to do because you're not prepared. So without further ado, let's talk about these downfalls. And the first one is you start comparing yourself to others because you start to see your journey in reference to other people's journeys. So my advice to you is to remember that everyone's journey is unique. What brought you to this moment right here is very different than what has brought someone else to this moment as well. Your unique experiences, expertise, knowledge, all of that is going to be unique to you. What works for you is not going to be what works for the entrepreneur beside you, and so on and so forth. So stop comparing yourself to others and start embracing and finding the joy in the fact that everyone, all of these other entrepreneurs are also sharing their journey. There's going to be things that you can learn from them, and there's going to be things that they can learn from you. But it is of no benefit to compare yourself to them like apples to apples, because it's not. It's apples and oranges. It's apples and potatoes. It's two completely different things that we're comparing, and it's not worth the energy or the effort or the heartbreak or the headaches to compare yourself to others in that way. Other thing that can happen is that you start to, when you're comparing yourselves to others, you start to see the quality of other people's content and you go, well, I want to do that too, which starts to put you back into the category of creating rather than documenting, right? And that is not good. That breaks away that authenticity. That takes away a lot of the benefits of why we want to document and not create. So stop focusing on trying to be perfect, because when we try and polish to the point of perfection, we start to lose a little bit of that authenticity. So find that balance, but lean more on the side of authenticity. It doesn't need to be perfect, my friends. It's about the message. It's not necessarily about how shiny it is. Remember, your audience is looking for real, relatable content. So share those challenges, share those obstacles, and don't need to put a pretty bow on everything. All right. The big one that will bite you in the butt, I promise, if you don't listen to this. Create consistently. Document your journey on a regular basis because your audience is expecting it. Build that strong connection with your audience of trust and credibility by creating your content on a regular basis so your audience knows that you're in it to win it. So, my friends, it's been a time. We've learned a lot today. But remember, consistent publishing, be authentic to who you are. Communicate by documenting what's happening in your journey. Do not be afraid to share the failures, the obstacles, the setbacks, the challenges. Embrace the complexity of the problems you're facing and share that with your audience. I promise you, it's going to absolutely revolutionize your way of showing up online. And my friends, it all starts with taking action. And today is your day to take action. So my friends, I have a little gift for you. If you comment, I am an action taker in the comments, I'm going to give you a free gift. So Go ahead, try it. I will see you in our next one, my friends. Remember, I love you. Be excellent to each other and just go live. People are out there waiting for you.